Hello everyone, this will be chapter 27 of The Second Life of the Guardian, written and read by Insect Overlord. This chapter is titled, Detective Cat Dad is a Dad to Vigilantes Too, and has content warnings for trauma response. Saturday was when they learned one of Aries' triggers. It was an accident, of course. No one would intentionally trigger a child, or anyone for that matter. Their mom had been helping her get ready for the day while Izuku showered. He hadn't realized how gross he felt until she mentioned it, and was happy to comply. After she was dressed, Inko had gotten out a brush to detangle Aries' hair, which had become quite the mess over the past 2 days. As soon as the brush touched her scalp, she flinched violently, lost her balance, and fell towards the floor. Her mom was startled at the reaction and instinctively reached out to catch her. Predictably, touching a frightened, traumatized child wasn't the right move. Aerie had yanked herself out of her arms and yelled, "No!" Inko would have been proud if she wasn't so worried. The day before, she and Aerie's therapist had worked on practicing autonomy, and she was glad to see some of it had stuck. She wasn't glad to see Aerie upset, though. She was staring at her mom as if she had just killed a puppy in front of her, breathing heavily, and Inko didn't know what she had done wrong. She lowered herself to the floor in front of her daughter, leaving some space between them. By the time Izuku had gotten out of the shower, she had calmed down a lot compared to before, according to their mom. It had taken a while of coaxing, but eventually Aerie was able to express that she didn't like her head to be touched, which could become a problem. Aerie had longish, curly hair that was liable to get tangled. They hadn't brushed it since she arrived, and it was already visibly knotted. If Aerie didn't want her hair to be brushed, they would have to cut it. When asked, she wasn't opposed to the idea. In fact, she was excited to look like her big sister. The family had planned to go shopping for clothes for her that day, but ended up buying them online and going to get Aerie's hair cut instead. A few hours later, Aerie pranced out of the salon like she was Kalki himself, eating a lollipop and sporting a new curly pixie cut. "Dad, I want to go back to the beach and keep cleaning," Izuku announced to his father as he tucked him in under his 4th blanket. It was February, and Izuku got cold at night. Hizashi shared a look with his wife, who was tucking in Aerie on the other side of the room. "I don't know how safe that is, bud." His dad forced a smile. "If you really want to go back, I'll see what I can do, but you won't be going alone." Izuku pouted. Cleaning the beach was his quiet retreat. It was a space where he could think without being interrupted. His dad was right, though. He didn't know how comfortable he felt being alone there again. As much as he wanted to go back, the feeling of the beach had been tainted with fear. If he had been kidnapped so easily once before, what was stopping it from happening again? He wished Overhaul was still alive so he could kill him himself. When their parents left and Aerie was asleep, Izuku crept over to his closet. He dug around until he found his All Might-themed shoebox from when he was 4. Inside, he pulled out his Anon phone. As he climbed back under the covers, he powered it on. He was slightly anxious. He hadn't used it in 6 days. While he had gone weeks without solving cases, he had never gone that long without texting the detective. There were quite a few messages and even a missed call. Tsukauchi had never called before. Monday, 9:55 p.m. Detective Cat Dad. "Hey, Anon, have you got the info on that case I asked about? Let me know when you're free to send it over." Tuesday, 10:31 a.m. Detective Cat Dad. "This request is time-sensitive, kid. If you don't answer, I'll update the file with what I have instead. It's not as thorough as what you put together, though." Tuesday, 2:46 p.m. Detective Cat Dad. "I added it." Wednesday, 7:55 a.m. Detective Cat Dad. "Is everything alright, Anon? You've been quiet." Wednesday, 6:42 p.m. Detective Cat Dad. "If you've got yourself into trouble, I swear I'll wring your neck." Wednesday, 8:15 p.m. Detective Cat Dad. "Suzanne misses you." Thursday, 6:17 a.m. Detective Cat Dad. "Legally, I shouldn't be saying this, but if you need help with something in your personal life, I can be there." Thursday, 6:22 a.m. Detective Cat Dad, I won't arrest you if that's what you're worried about. Your safety comes first. Friday, 2:25 a.m. Detective Cat Dad, if you're safe, let me know. Even just one text is enough. Saturday, 9:57 a.m. Missed call from Detective Cat Dad. Detective Cat Dad, answer the damn phone. Detective Cat Dad, you don't even have to say anything, just pick it up so I know you're alive. Crap. Izuku didn't think he would be this worried. Sure, Izuku texted him nearly every day, and he knew Izuku was a child, even if he thought he was older. Izuku stopped. Actually, it was completely understandable for the detective to be worried about him. Any sane adult would be when a child they knew seemingly dropped off the face of the earth. Izuku should reassure him that he's okay. Saturday, 9:09 p.m. Anon. I live. The response was immediate. Detective Cat Dad, thank gosh. Detective Cat Dad, what happened to you? You need to tell me when you're planning on going off the radar like that. Anon, I wasn't exactly planning on being kidnapped, LOLs. Detective Cat Dad, you were what? Oops, well, so much for reassuring him. Anon, I'm fine. Anon, it was only mild torture anyway. Anon, I've been through worse, muscle emoji. Detective Cat Dad, you were tortured? Detective Cat Dad, what on earth happened? Are you okay? Anon, I already told you, I'm fine. Anon, you should see the other guy. Izuku chuckled at his own joke. Detective Cat Dad, Detective Cat Dad, I don't know what to say. Detective Cat Dad, I'm glad you're alive, Anon. Izuku's heart did not stutter at that. He hoped telling the detective he was kidnapped was the right call. He didn't feel like lying to him after so much worrying. He deserved the truth. Besides, Tsukuchi thought Anon was a teenage girl. It was highly unlikely he would tie what he said back to the kidnapping case of an elementary school boy, even if they were from the same time frame. Izuku plugged in his phone and tucked it into the side of his bed, before rolling over and closing his eyes. His parents had caved and agreed he could go to school on Monday, so he planned to spend his Sunday getting ready. This concludes chapter 27 of The Second Life of the Guardian. I hope you liked the little interaction between the detective and Izuku. I thought it would be very realistic of at least this fix, Izuku to blurt out that he was kidnapped. He's not really good at keeping things secret that he doesn't think need to be secret. And I'm excited to share the next chapter with you guys, because there's something in it that I've wanted to share for quite a while. But other than that, the next chapter should be up soon, and thank you so much for listening.